Many South Africans who rely on their SASSA grants, whether it's the old age pension, disability grant, or child support, are about to face serious changes that could affect the way they receive their money starting July 2025. But the real question is, are you prepared for what's coming? We've just received verified information from policy insiders and social security experts, and it's not the usual rumor or social media panic. This is a real warning backed by credible analysis, and it could directly affect your monthly grant payment, where it goes, and even how fast you can access your money. If you or a loved one depend on your SASSA grant to survive each month, then listen closely. Changes in payment systems, potential banking requirements, and updated biometric reverification processes are all on the table. Some beneficiaries might be moved away from Postbank or traditional cash collection points and be asked to register new banking details, and failing to do this on time could mean delays or even suspension of your grant. And while there are promises of a simpler system, experts warn that these changes might bring short-term confusion for seniors and people in rural areas who rely on familiar payment methods. We'll also break down what the July 2025 National Budget Update reveals about increases or cuts to social grants. Could there be more money in your pocket or less? This video will give you straight answers, no rumors, no political spin, just the facts, what's changing, how to prepare, and what to do if you're at risk of losing access to your grant. So if you care about keeping your SASSA payments safe, avoiding unnecessary delays, and understanding exactly what these expert warnings mean, stay right here. Let's break it all down together, step by step, so you and your family don't get left behind in these upcoming changes. Hey, let's pick up right where left off. You've just heard the urgent warnings about payment changes coming in July 2025, and now you're wondering, what does this mean day to day for you? First, let's talk about what's actually changing and why it matters personally. The Department of Social Development and SASSA are rolling out a revamped payment system. It's not just about switching banks or new technology, it's about ensuring that every beneficiary gets their grant reliably and efficiently. But change always brings disruption, and that's exactly why we're here, to help you stay ahead rather than scramble to catch up at the last minute. Imagine this. In the old system, many of you would wait at post-bank counters or trusted payout points in your community. You knew the routine, you trusted the people there, you didn't have to worry about bank statements or ATM visits. But the shift now is pushing toward direct deposit into bank accounts, sometimes even digital wallets. For most South Africans in cities, that might sound like a small adjustment. But for seniors in rural areas, it could mean getting used to ATMs for the first time, understanding ATM slips, or even managing a swipe machine. And if you've never had a formal bank account, you might be expected to open one to qualify. Why? Because the government says it will reduce delays, cut unnecessary costs, and tighten the system against fraud. Digital transfer means no physical queues, fewer errors in counting cash, and traceable records. But let's be clear, those are benefits for the system, not necessarily for you personally. That's why we have to look at the short-term and long-term impacts together. In the short term, the priority is making sure you're not cut off as the change takes effect. The first major change coming in July is a deadline. All existing beneficiaries must confirm or update their banking details. Whether you already have an account or not, you will get letters, SMS notifications, or physical notices delivered by Postbank. You will be asked to confirm the name of the bank, your branch code, and your account number. If you miss the deadline, your payment could be temporarily suspended, or you might be switched over to an alternative payout method that suits you but might take longer. So, what do you do now? First, set aside a quiet day just for this. It might take an hour, but it could save you weeks of delay. You'll need your ID, your bank card if you already have one, or if you don't have one, plan a trip to your nearest Postbank or SASSA office. That's where you can apply for a new account. Many Postbank branches now offer simplified banking for seniors, with minimal paperwork and some English and Izulu or isiXhosa staff ready to help. If you're unsure where that is, ask a family member to look it up or call the SASSA helpline. They'll tell you exactly which documents to bring, usually just your ID and proof of residence. Now, let's assume you open your new account and update your details before July. Great, but don't think you're done. There's more. The next piece is biometric reverification. This might sound futuristic, but it's actually a move to prevent fraud. Biometric checks are nothing more than fingerprint scanning or face matching software, similar to what you've seen on smartphones or even at the airport. It's meant to confirm that the person collecting the grant is the legitimate beneficiary. SASSA already introduced this last year, but the July changes mean it's being enforced more strictly. What does that mean for you? When you go to collect your payment, whether at an ATM or bank teller, you might be asked to place a finger on a scanner, or look at a small camera to verify your identity. It adds just 10 to 20 seconds to your visit. Most people adapt quickly, but if you're uncomfortable, take a family member with you or ask a teller to explain it clearly. And if for any reason the scanner doesn't recognize you, maybe because of worn prints or the machine doesn't work, you have a backup. You'll use your ID and a manual check by the teller. It could take a bit longer, but you'll still get paid. That brings us to another big anxiety. What if machines fail or the system crashes? South African infrastructure can be unpredictable. Power outages are still common, and internet outages happen. SASSA knows this, and they are requiring banks and Postbank to have manual fallback systems in place. That means if an ATM scanner goes down, the system will prompt for your PIN and your ID, just like before. If there's a wider outage across a region, the rollout is scheduled in phases so that backup cash counters remain available. Again, your best move? Get to know the SAS office near you. Find out their hours, ask if they have manual backups, and if they've been keeping them updated. Okay, now let's zoom out to another concern. How much money is being paid? This is tied to national policy and the budget statement for 2025-2026. The finance minister announced in May that the government projects a modest increase in grants, about 4.5% in line with inflation. That means if you're currently getting R2,180 a month for an old age pension, you can expect an additional R98 to R100 starting from the July payment cycle. That's not a lot, but if you budget carefully, you can use it for extra airtime, a bit more groceries, or even a new school uniform for a grandchild. Still, the flip side is inflation in food and fuel is hovering around 8%, so the increase won't fully catch up with rising costs. What it does do is preserve your real income rather than letting it shrink. But don't expect any huge windfall. This is about keeping pace with inflation, not getting ahead of it. Right now. There are also added promises of supplemental benefits. For example, grants going to caregivers and child support are being bundled with the main old age grant system so beneficiaries can apply online or through community offices in one go. That might not affect you directly, but it could affect a grandchild you're raising or caregiving for. The quicker processing is aimed at reducing waiting times for combined applications, and you'll no longer have to wait weeks between a caregiver grant and child support grant. All of this supports your broader circle, and that in turn helps you feel more secure. Let's talk about common fears. A big one is, what if I don't have a bank account when payments switch? From July, missing an account won't automatically stop your money, but it will change how you get paid. You'll likely be given the choice of a new temporary disbursement channel, possibly a contracted mobile money partner or trusted rural vendor. These options usually require small kiosks or mobile vans, and they come with lower limits and extra transaction fees. Your payout date might shift by a few days. And yes, there are small fees, sometimes R5 to R15 per withdrawal. While that might feel nominal, it adds up if your budget is tight. My advice? Do whatever's convenient to open a bank account. Even Postbank's simple accounts with 0 monthly fees and low withdrawal charges are better than paying repeated kiosk fees. Another common question is, will my family members still be able to help me? Absolutely. You can nominate a trusted person, a child, neighbor, or close friend to assist with your banking. That's done through a power of attorney POA or a SAS-specific appointment. Your helper can collect your ID from the bank or even withdraw on your behalf depending on your choice of arrangement. But here's the catch. That person must also provide ID, and the arrangement must be recorded in writing at the bank or SASSA office. In coming weeks, we expect local offices to host community days where families can visit together, confirm details, and set up nominated representatives. We're also seeing a push for digital inclusion, free classes from NGOs and banks to help seniors learn how to use an ATM, understand bank statements, or even use their phones to check balances. Some senior centers are partnering with FNB, ABSAC, Nedbank, Capitec, and Postbank to run weekly workshops. No one is being forced into full internet banking, but basic familiarity is encouraged. If you see flyers at your local clinic or library, sign up. Even a single session can build confidence, and you'll be less anxious when it's your turn at the ATM. Now, let's address the rumors, because there's always some. One that's circulating is, SASSA is going to cut my grant later in the year by R500? That's untrue. The only planned change is the inflation-linked 4.5% increase. There is no plan to reduce grants. The rumor appears to stem from misreading official documents that point to administrative savings, not grant reductions. Another falsehood is only urban beneficiaries can get direct deposit. Rural people will have to keep drawing cash. That's backward. If anything, rural recipients are being prioritized for bank account access so that they can access payouts at nearby vendors or through mobile partners. Urban areas already have ample ATMs, so rolling out alternatives there is less urgent. One more concern many seniors have: will I have to pay income tax now that I'm getting money in a bank? No. All SASSA grants are tax exempt. Putting money in a bank does not make it taxable. If you're getting interested in interest, some banks pay a tiny amount if your balance stays above a threshold. That interest could be taxable, but it's commercial interest, not your pension. If you open an account solely for SASSA, your balance will stay around the grant level, typically R2,300 or less per month, so tax is unlikely. So what's the most useful action plan between now and July? Check whether you already have a bank account that can accept deposits. If yes, confirm with your bank that the account details are correct and ensure you can access the account easily. Know your ATM PIN, know your branch code. If you don't have an account, plan a visit to your nearest Postbank or SASSA office within the next 2 weeks. Bring your ID and proof of residence. Ask if they have a SASSA simplified account for seniors. Once your account is set, await the letter or SMS from SASSA. It should arrive by June. Confirm your details, don't ignore it. If there's any discrepancy, contact the SASSA call center, 800 60 10 or 11, or head to the office in person. Ask about biometric reverification. When is it scheduled? If you miss your scheduled session, is there a grace period? Most offices give 2 weeks of leeway. Use it. If you're uncomfortable with machines, ask your family or caregivers to help, or nominate someone officially so they can assist. If you need digital literacy help, call nearby senior centers, churches, or NGOs. Many start programs right now, no charge for 2-hour classes. Plan to collect your first updated payment after changes take effect, behind the scenes on July 7th or 8th, just after the buy-in period. That's a good time to test the new system and make sure your money is smooth in and smooth out. By doing this now, you'll avoid waiting days at the ATM, standing in lines, scrambling for ID, or paying extra fees because a kiosk had to be your backup. You'll continue living with dignity and keep your money on time without added stress. But let's talk about what happens during the transition week in early July. SASSA will release a notice saying system will be temporarily offline between July 2nd and July 4th. That means no grants during those days. But you won't lose any money. You'll still receive your full July payment on the first payout date after the system reopens, likely July 7th for urban areas and July 10th for rural areas. So don't panic if your phone doesn't show a credit on July 1st. Instead, treat it like a bank holiday. You'll get paid afterward. During that week, your local SAS and Postbank offices will post notices. If you haven't already updated your bank details, they may start locking down old records. This is just standard procedure. So use the downtime to confirm your info online or with a relative. Another suggestion, join a WhatsApp group or community mailing list that keeps you updated. Many local NGO chapters or churches are setting up SMS and WhatsApp groups specifically for seniors, where volunteers share helpful reminders. Tomorrow is Biometric Update Day. Don't forget to withdraw before Friday. System reopening alert. Ask if one exists in your area, or ask a family member to set one up for you. It's free and it might save you time and confusion. Let's also touch on what happens after the first month. Once the new system is in place and you see your July payment go in like clockwork, it's natural to relax. But don't forget to treat annual reverification like a recurring event. Every year, you may be asked for updated documentation, proof of residence, verifying you're still alive, called grace verification, or updating your power of attorney if you've named someone. And every time, missing the window can mean suspension. So mark early June 2026 on your calendar now. When SASSA announces the window, usually in late May, plan a short visit to your office and get it done. Before I wrap up, let me say this. You're going through this not because SASSA wants to make your life harder, but because the system is designed to be stronger, more accountable, and more inclusive. But every improvement depends on you. If you stand still, the world moves on and you miss your money. If you show up, you take control and you benefit. That's the message we want you to carry. Empowerment through preparation. And from July onward, here's what life can feel like. You walk up to an ATM, not necessarily at Postbank, but maybe FNB or Capitec or Standard Bank, wherever's nearest. Insert the card you've now gotten comfortable with. Enter your PIN. Scanner flashes, just a quick check like your fingerprint on a smartphone. Done. You take your cash, you head off to buy bread or groceries or airtime. Or You take a lift to your grandchildren's school fund. You don't wait hours and you don't feel like you're missing out. You're part of the system that helps you, and it's easier than before. If that doesn't resonate, think about this. Your monthly grant is your basic safety net. Without it, daily life becomes a struggle. With the right preparation, you ensure that safety net stays strong. That's what we're doing here, helping you keep it strong. So let's end with this. Nothing magic is happening. You're not being tricked into banking you don't need. You're simply being asked, will you trust us with your details so you can keep your money flowing smoothly? And your answer can be a clear yes. All you need to do is show up, bring your ID, update your details, and don't be afraid of the ATM. Once that's done, the system works for you month after month. And you can focus on what matters, enjoying family, staying in community, living life without worry.